Okay, this video is going to show you how to create your first application using a computer programming language. Now, we use computer programming languages to create, obviously, computer programs. For example, some computer programs out there are Microsoft Word, Excel, even web programs or web applications such as MySpace and Facebook. Somebody had to program those using a computer programming language. A very simple programming or simple program is this little calculator. Somebody had to create this. You know, it has buttons here, it has a text box, it has a little file menu, it has this little close button here. Okay, so we're going to be doing the same thing. We'll be creating our first application. It's very simple, and we'll be using Visual Basic, which is a computer programming language. We're going to start by pressing on the start button all the way to the bottom left. We're going to look for under all programs, let's look for Microsoft Visual Basic 2008. I have or Visual Studio 2008. I have Visual Basic 2008 Express Edition. Okay, that'll work also. So you may have the Express Edition, or you may have or you may be using Visual Studio. So you're going to choose that. And before we get started, we're going to specify some options here. So we're going to go to Tools, Options. On the left hand side, we're going to go to Projects and Solutions. We verify that Always Show Error List if build finishes with errors. We're going to make sure that that's check marked. Always Show Solution. We're going to make sure that that's also check marked. And Show Output Window when build starts. That should not be checked. Okay, so we click OK. Okay, now we need to start our new project. Go to File, New Project. Okay, so depending on the version, this is Express Edition, so I have less icons here. If you're using the Visual Studio 2008, you're going to see a lot more options here. But we're just going to choose Windows Form Application. Okay. We're going to change the name to Windows Message Application. Actually, no, we're gonna make our choose our last name, first name. Okay. Project 1. Click Browse. Alright, we're going to choose the desktop. We're going to create a new folder. Type in Visual Basic. Okay, we'll press OK. And verify here we're on the desktop, as you can tell, and here's a new folder called Visual Basic. So we click OK. Okay, the next window that comes up is our form. Notice how it looks very similar to that calculator. Well, not that similar, right? We're missing a lot of buttons here. But the outside part, obviously, we have, you know, the X, maximize, minimize. Okay, we have the name of the form here. So we're going to be creating, using Visual Basic, we'll be creating an application here. On the left hand side, we have all these different tools that we can use. We have the opportunity of using buttons here, labels. Okay. On the right hand side, towards the bottom, we have several tabs here. We're going to be using the Properties tab to change the property of our object. Right. In this case, our first object here is the form. When we put in, for example, a button, then that'll be on our object, and we can change the property of that object. Okay, so our first object is the form itself. Okay, what we want to do is change the name of the form. As you can see here, it has right now it's Form 1. So here are I have the form selected, right? Here I have all the properties that I can change on this form. Okay, one of these properties is going to help me change the name here. Okay, and the property is text. So once I change the name, I can change the name here to message. As soon as I click out here, it changes the name to message. I also want to change the name of my form. See, right now it's called form 1. I want to change the name of it. Name is used, we can use message form, and this is going to be a reference if we when we play around with the code. Okay, so if we're going to be messing around with the code, we want to change this name here. Okay. We also want to change the font. So let's change the font. Let's look for Seago. Alright, here's all kinds of fonts that we have here. Seago UI. Let's go with that one. Let's go with size 9, or actually size 10. Click OK. So what we're doing here is whenever we insert a control, it's automatically going to be changed to this font and size. Okay. There's all kinds of other controls here, or all kinds of other properties here that we can change on this form. Okay, so for right now, that's all we're going to change. Okay. So this is part 1. Okay, Visual Basic video part 1. Watch part 2 so we can finish our programming project.